My wife started a smear campaign about financial abuse after my promotion, so I filed a divorce right there. I'm 34, and the past 6 months have been a masterclass in how quickly someone you love can turn into someone you barely recognize. Let me start from the beginning. I met Megan during our final year of college. I was the practical business major. She was the passionate art history student. We were different, but it worked. After 3 years of dating and a year of living together, we tied the knot. She found her place as a curator at a mid-sized art gallery, making around $45,000 a year, while I worked as an associate financial advisor, bringing in $75,000. We were comfortable, happy, and most importantly, equals, or so I thought. Our system was simple and fair. We maintained separate accounts for personal spending while sharing joint accounts for household expenses. We split costs proportionally based on our incomes, and it worked perfectly. Never once did either of us complain about the arrangement. Life was good, steady, predictable. Then came the offer that changed everything. One of Boston's top financial advisory firms had been watching my performance, particularly impressed with my client portfolio growth and risk management strategies. They offered me a senior advisor position with a $155,000 base salary plus quarterly performance bonuses. It was the kind of opportunity I'd been working towards my entire career: comprehensive benefits, a clear path to partnership, and the chance to work with high-net-worth clients. I rushed home that day, excited to share the news with my wife. I expected celebration, maybe even a spontaneous dinner out. Instead, I got something that felt like a scene from a different marriage entirely. "You can't take it," Megan said, her voice cold and flat. "No congratulations, no questions about the opportunity, just a flat rejection." "What do you mean?" I asked, thinking she must be joking. "You'll be making more than triple what I make," she said, as if this was somehow a problem. "What will my friends think? My family? Do you know how that's going to make me look?" I tried reasoning with her. I explained how this opportunity would secure our future. We could save for a better house, plan for retirement, maybe even look into investment properties. But the more I talked about the benefits, the more hostile she became. "Either you turn down the offer," she said finally, "or I'll have to rethink our marriage." I was stunned. This was the woman who'd always supported my career goals, who'd been there through the long hours and stressful client meetings. Now she was threatening our marriage over my success. My family was equally shocked. Over dinner that weekend, my father, a veteran investment banker, couldn't believe what he was hearing. My mother, who had always adored Megan and considered her a daughter, was speechless. They reminded me how I'd supported Megan's career choices, including when she turned down a higher-paying museum position because she preferred the smaller gallery environment. My sister, a corporate lawyer who handles divorce cases, saw through it immediately. "This isn't about money," she said during our weekly lunch. "This is about control. She was fine when you were making similar amounts because it gave her a sense of equality. Now that you're moving ahead, she's showing her true colors." After careful consideration, I accepted the job. That's when things really started to unravel. Megan's hostility evolved into something more calculated. She began telling our mutual friends that I'd changed, that I'd become obsessed with status and wealth. When I received my first quarterly bonus, $20,000 for exceeding targets, she accused me of deliberately flaunting my success to make her feel worthless. But what I didn't know then was that she was orchestrating something far more sinister. She was building a case against me, painting herself as the victim of financial abuse. She told her gallery colleagues that I was forcing her to live on a strict budget while I enjoyed a lavish lifestyle, the complete opposite of reality. I had offered to increase my contribution to our joint expenses to 75% given my higher salary, but she had refused. The truth came to light through an unexpected source. My best friend, who owns a lunch spot near her gallery, overheard her colleagues discussing how I was supposedly pressuring her to quit her job to make her financially dependent on me. It was all lies, but she was methodically building her narrative. Then came the recordings. My cousin's wife, who knows one of Megan's gallery colleagues, warned me that Megan had been secretly recording our conversations, illegal in Massachusetts without two-party consent. She would deliberately start fights about money, provoke me until I showed frustration, then edit the recordings to only show my reactions. These doctored clips were being shared with her friends and family as evidence of emotional abuse. When confronted, she broke down and admitted she was building a case for divorce, planning to claim emotional and financial abuse. My sister immediately stepped in with legal advice, helping me understand the serious implications of Megan's actions. She advised me to document everything and consult a divorce attorney specializing in high-conflict cases. But Megan wasn't done. She made a desperate attempt to sabotage my career by trying to access my work laptop, threatening to email my clients about our personal issues. Thankfully, our firm's strict security protocols prevented her from accessing my accounts, but her intent was clear. She wanted to destroy not just our marriage, but my professional reputation as well. Following my attorney's advice, I began legally recording our interactions in shared spaces, installing visible security cameras with clear signage as required by law. Megan's reaction was telling. She became enraged about being monitored, despite these being openly visible security devices in shared spaces. The situation reached its climax during what was supposed to be a family mediation dinner at our house. Megan and her mother had prepared a presentation of their evidence, their curated recordings, out-of-context incidents, and fabricated claims about financial control. Their plan backfired spectacularly when I calmly played the complete, legally recorded versions of our conversations, which clearly showed her provocations and manipulations. Even her own father, who had remained neutral throughout, finally saw the truth. When he directly asked her if she had been deliberately manipulating evidence to damage my professional license, she couldn't answer. Her carefully constructed narrative crumbled as family members realized the extent of her deception. The divorce proceedings moved quickly after that. When her lawyer saw our evidence of her illegal recordings, defamation attempts, and documented manipulation, they advised her to settle. Her final attempt to retaliate, contacting my firm's compliance department with false allegations, was quickly shut down thanks to my sister's earlier advice to document everything with HR. Massachusetts' mandatory 90-day cooling-off period gave everyone time to think rationally. During mediation, she tried claiming she deserved a larger portion of our assets because she had limited her career advancement for our marriage. My attorney easily disproved this with documented evidence of her voluntary career choices. The divorce was finalized last month after the mandatory 6-month NICI period. The division of assets was clean and fair. She kept most of our furniture. I retained my retirement accounts and investments. We sold the house and split the proceeds based on our documented contributions. The professional fallout was significant, but not in the way she had hoped. Her gallery colleagues, learning about her admitted evidence manipulation, distanced themselves from her. My career, on the other hand, has continued to flourish. I've secured several major client portfolios, and my firm, impressed with how I handled the situation while maintaining client confidentiality, is fast-tracking me for a team lead position. Through mutual connections, I heard she started seeing a therapist to address her insecurities and control issues. While I wish her well, I'm relieved I didn't compromise my career aspirations trying to manage her unreasonable demands. This experience taught me that sometimes the person attempting to exert financial control isn't the higher earner, but rather someone whose insecurities drive them to restrict their partner's growth. The aftermath of the divorce brought its own set of challenges and revelations. In the months following our separation, I discovered just how far-reaching Megan's campaign of manipulation had spread. Former friends began reaching out with apologies, sharing stories of how she had systematically turned them against me with her carefully crafted narrative of financial abuse. One particularly eye-opening moment came when my college roommate, now a successful surgeon in Chicago, called to apologize. He admitted that Megan had contacted him months ago, spinning elaborate tales about how I had changed and become financially controlling. She had even suggested that I might be engaging in unethical practices at work to earn my bonuses, insinuating that my success was built on fraud. He had initially believed her, given their friendship over the years, but the truth coming out during the divorce proceedings had made him question everything. The professional aftermath was equally complex. While my firm stood firmly behind me, the ripples of Megan's accusations reached further than I'd initially realized. At an industry conference in New York, a potential client approached me, mentioning they had almost decided against working with me after hearing concerning rumors about my personal life. Thankfully, my track record and the firm's support spoke louder than baseless accusations. My sister, who had been my rock throughout this ordeal, helped me understand that rebuilding my reputation would take time but was worth the effort. She encouraged me to be transparent with my clients about the situation when necessary, while maintaining professional boundaries. This approach paid off. My client retention rate actually improved during this period, as people appreciated my honesty and resilience. The financial industry can be unforgiving when it comes to personal scandal, but I was fortunate that my firm's management saw through Megan's attempts at sabotage. They even used my case to strengthen their HR policies regarding personal conflicts and professional protection. My experience became a talking point in our compliance training, though my name was kept confidential. On the personal front, healing took time. I threw myself into work initially, taking on extra clients and staying late at the office. My sister noticed this pattern and introduced me to her friend, a therapist specializing in high-conflict divorce and emotional abuse. Through therapy, I began to recognize patterns in my marriage that I had previously overlooked, how Megan had subtly controlled aspects of my life even before the promotion, how she had isolated me from certain friends who were more successful than us, and how she had always framed our relationship in terms of competition rather than partnership. Megan's life took some interesting turns as well. Through mutual acquaintances, I learned that she left her curator position shortly after the divorce, claiming the environment had become toxic, though in reality, her colleagues had simply grown tired of her manipulative behavior. She briefly tried to start an art consulting business, using her connections from her gallery days, but her reputation for dishonesty made it difficult to establish client trust. My mother-in-law's attempts at reconciliation became something of a monthly occurrence. Each time, she would send lengthy emails explaining how she had misunderstood the situation, usually followed by requests for financial advice or help with her retirement planning. I maintained a policy of forwarding these messages to my attorney without response, documenting each contact attempt as advised. As for my career, my ability to maintain professionalism and client confidence throughout the personal crisis earned me respect within the firm. The team lead position I was fast-tracked for came with an additional $50,000 base salary increase and a more substantial bonus structure. Ironically, my ex-wife's attempts to destroy my career ended up accelerating my success. I've since been asked to mentor junior advisors in the firm, particularly on maintaining work-life balance and protecting their professional reputation. I share my story selectively, emphasizing the importance of documenting everything and maintaining clear boundaries between personal and professional life. Looking back, accepting that job offer was indeed pivotal, not just for my career, but for revealing the true nature of my marriage. It showed me who genuinely supported my success and who was more concerned with maintaining control. The experience taught me that financial abuse can manifest in unexpected ways, and that someone's reaction to your success often reveals more about their character than any amount of comfortable stability ever could. I'm grateful for my support system, especially my sister, whose legal expertise helped me navigate this challenging situation properly. While the experience was painful, it ultimately freed me to pursue both professional and personal growth without the weight of someone else's insecurities holding me back. Most importantly, it taught me that success doesn't just test our abilities. It tests our relationships, revealing those who truly want us to thrive, and those who would rather see us diminished to maintain their own sense of control.